Hello friends and welcome, and guess what time of year it is? It is time for our fall DIYs. I'm so excited. I've been waiting all summer long to start doing DIYs this fall, and I'm going to start off with a project that I have been searching for items for quite a while. I have been looking for velvet pumpkins. I am all about the velvet pumpkins this year. I have been searching high and low, and they are so expensive. So I decided, you know what, let's try to make some ourselves. So let's first go over the supplies that you're gonna need to make some velvet pumpkins. First of all, you are going to want to get a bag of the extra loft polyester batting. It's the fluffier kind of batting. I got mine at Hobby Lobby. It was 40% off, normally $8.99. I paid 40% off on it. Hobby Lobby has some great sales right now. So grab your batting there while you can get the sale. Also, I picked up a couple of these small pumpkins. Now, I plan on doing mostly fiber-filled pumpkins for the larger size pumpkins, but the smaller pumpkins, I was thinking I could probably use these little pumpkins on a pick as kind of a form and wrap around them. So I did pick up little small white pumpkins on a stick. Again, these were 50% off. I paid $1.50 each for them. They came from Hobby Lobby. I got 4 of those. Then I also got from Hobby Lobby some really nice, like curly Q twisty twiny kind of branches, which are going to work perfect for the stem pieces. I was really kind of trying to think of what I wanted to do for a stem, and I was thinking maybe I could use some natural sticks, which you definitely could, but I kind of liked the look of like a rope, which I'm gonna show you next because I did get a rope as well, but I love these little twisty curly cues. Now these came from Hobby Lobby. Again, all of their greenery and picks, floral picks, all of that is all 50% off right now. So head over to Hobby Lobby and grab that stuff. These ones right here were normally $6. I got them for $3 a piece, but there's so many of these little curly cues that I'm gonna be able to use multiple pieces off of one of the little picks to make multiple different pumpkins. Also picked up 2 of these little branch style picks. And this one is a little bit more expensive, but it's got a lot of branches, a lot of this nice kind of like viney branch, which is going to look really good on the pumpkins. And these were $9 a piece, but 50% off. So I did get a couple of those. And this was in more of like the greenery section. But these are some leaves that are going to be perfect for the leaves on the pumpkin vine. And this one is it's from Hobby Lobby. It was just this is the item number. I don't know if you can see it. It's number 841247. They were $3.99 each. But again, 50% off, and there's tons of leaves on the pick. So again, I will only use maybe 1 leaf per pumpkin, so I will be able to do a lot of pumpkins off of 1 pick. Here is the rope that I'm going to use for the actual stem. I got this one from Joann Fabric. Now, Joann Fabric's another place that has some really good deals going on right now. This is just a rope, and it's the Bloom Room is the brand that makes it. This was on sale. It was $3.99, and then I was able to use a 50% off coupon for this, so I got the rope for $2, and there's quite a bit. There's 6 feet here, and I'm figuring I'm only gonna use maybe 3 to 4 inches of the rope per stem. I picked up a few things of fabric at Hobby Lobby, and I picked up a few at Joann Fabric. I am gonna do, obviously, the velvet. Now this one, it's kind of looking like silver. It does have a tint of like mossy green. It's like a mossy green. It kind of goes with my whole color scheme I have going on here in my house. But this is gonna be a mossy green velvet, 1/2 yard of the gold. And again, this is that velour stretchy velvet, which you definitely wanna stretch. Don't buy the one that's really stiff, because when you're going to mold it into the shape of the pumpkin, you want a lot of stretch with your velour or velvet. These ones I got at Joann Fabric. This is this gorgeous dark teal color. I'm all about the dark teal. The dark teal is gonna look amazing with that kind of lighter green. Also going to use this really pretty rust color. Now this is not a velvet or a velour. They did not have it in the velour material. However, they had a stretchy corduroy, like fuzzy corduroy type of material, which is almost just as good, and it will give a little bit different of a texture. If you can see it, it is a corduroy, but it's a stretchy corduroy, and it's that really pretty kind of rusty color. But then just some other quick things you're gonna need is you're gonna need a high temp glue gun and some high temp glue sticks and some scissors. And I am actually going to also use something round to help me trace. All right, let's start out with our fabric. We need to cut our fabric. I am actually just using a regular round dish as kind of like a template. This is the perfect size for the small little pumpkins that we're gonna wrap. Now, as you can see, I have pulled off the pick and the stem to one of these little small pumpkins. Now, I'm gonna reuse the stem, but I've also taken a small little knife and I've made a little notch right in the center where the stem was. Just kind of cut a little notch out so that way there's a little hole or a little indentation in the center of the top of the pumpkin. And I am going to trace. Doesn't really, you don't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna trace right around my bowl or my plate just so that I have a guide to cut. I also flipped the fabric upside down. It's easier to work on the flat side rather than the soft velour side. All right, we have our velvet circle cut out right here. I'm gonna kind of set that aside. Now, I've also cut a thin strip of the batting. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue right on the edge of my pumpkin, and I'm gonna stick that right down into the batting close to one side of the bat. I'm gonna do that same thing. I'm gonna just keep putting little dabs of the glue and kind of roll that pumpkin right into that batting. A little bit more glue right where it meets up. And I'll glue that down, and then I'm gonna trim off this extra. We've got this pumpkin wrapped in this batting, just like this. We're gonna take our velvet circle. Again, make sure your velvet, the soft side is facing down. I'm gonna put a little bit more glue right on the very bottom center of the pumpkin, and I'm gonna set that right in the dead center of that circle. Just like that. And I'm gonna kind of just push it underneath just so that I know it's sticking. So I'll push it from underneath so it sticks into that glue. So I'm gonna just start with one side. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on the edge, just a little dollop of glue on the edge of my velvet. I'm gonna bring it up over, I'm gonna bring it over that batting, and I'm gonna push it down into the hole that I carved out of the center of the pumpkin. Just kind of hold it there until it sets. So now we've got, like, you can kind of see it's starting to take shape. And we're gonna do that same thing. We're gonna work our way all the way around. So again, I'm gonna put a little dot of glue on the edge of the fabric, maybe about 4 inches from the last dollop I did. I'm gonna pull it over the fabric, and I'm gonna kind of push it down into that hole at the top. I'm gonna keep working all the way around until I have all of my fabric pushed down into the center. You want to work in one direction, and as you work, you want to kind of fold the fabric over the last piece. That will give you a nice, even, round look. Okay, so when you get to the very last spot, again, you're gonna just do the same thing. You're gonna find your longest point and put a little bit of glue in that very last little piece, and you're gonna kind of just stretch that forward and kind of finish it off by pushing it down again in the center of the pumpkin. And I'm using a pair of scissors just to kind of push that right down into place, so I'm not using my fingers. So this is what it should look like when you are all done gluing that fabric into place. Original stems that I pulled off, and I'm just going to put some more hot glue around the original stem, and I'm gonna push that right down into the top of that pumpkin and kind of hold that in place. All right, I clipped off just a little small piece of that vine, a little small piece of the curlicue, and then just the leaf, and I'm going to hot glue my vine right on to the top of my pumpkin, like right next to the stem. So I got this cute little vine, and the same thing with the leaf. I'm gonna put some hot glue right on the leaf, and I'm gonna hot glue that right down over that vine to kind of hide the spot that I hot glued. But again, here you go. Here's the pumpkin right there. It's got the cute little leaf and the cute little curlicue vine and that gorgeous little velvet. So this is the small one. Now I'm gonna do a couple different sizes. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do the larger, the medium or the large size pumpkin next. Okay, for the next size pumpkin, so we did the small one with the little foam form underneath. But for the medium-sized pumpkin, we're not going to use a foam form. We're just going to use about 3 feet of this batting. I have about 3 feet, and then I have about an 8-inch strip that I cut. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that strip in half, just like this. And we're going to start at one end, and we're going to just roll that strip lightly. So you're gonna get kind of this little pinwheel, just like this, all right? Now, I'm gonna take my hot glue, and I'm gonna just put a little hot glue on this batting just to kind of hold that pinwheel together. Because I have a couple layers, I'm gonna need to glue both layers down. All right, now I'm gonna take my thumbs and kind of create that center hole in the middle, just a little bit. All right, because that's where our stem is gonna go, and that's also where we're going to tuck our folded pieces of fabric and glue them in. Now use this lighter color. This is kind of like that light mossy green color, and I have, instead of a plate, I've got a charger plate, which is a little bit bigger. It's about 2 inches wider on the diameter. I'm gonna lay it right down on my fabric. I'm gonna take my marker and I'm just gonna trace, all right, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut that circle out. Okay, so now I have my velvet circle cut out. The shiny soft side I'm facing down, and I'm going to take my little pinwheel, my batting pinwheel. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue just on the bottom, just to kind of hold it in place, and I'm gonna center that right in the very dead center of this fabric. Kind of just push it down. Okay. Now, I'm going to start on the edge, put a little dollop of glue on the edge, and I'm gonna pull it up, and I'm gonna push it down in the center. Now you can use some scissors because it gets hot so you don't burn yourself. Use some scissors just until it kind of sets in place. All right. Now, next time we go around, we're gonna kind of work clockwise or counterclockwise all the way around. We're gonna kind of create a little fold. You can see I'm gonna kind of create a little fold, and I'm going to put some more glue on top of the fabric in the center, and I'm going to push that fabric right down into that glue and kind of just hold it in place. So we're going to kind of keep creating a fold and working our way around, working our way all the way around. Put the glue on top of the fabric and then push that fabric down into place. We're almost done. This is what it started. You can see those little folds all the way around. Again, give it enough time to set. If your fabric starts unraveling, you know it's not set long enough. So give it a good minute or two to set. Because when you keep adding hot glue on top of hot glue, it's not really having enough time to cool and dry. Okay, so there's the base of my pumpkin right there. That's what it looks like. So now I'm going to take some of this rope, and this is kind of hard to cut with a pair of scissors. So I actually took a really sharp knife. I'm not taking too long of a piece. I'm taking maybe about 4 inches, and I'm just taking a super sharp knife and I'm just cutting through that rope just like that, so I have a nice smooth edge. I'm gonna take some of my hot glue, put my pumpkin over there. I'm going to put a bunch more of that hot glue down in that opening in the top of my pumpkin, and I'm gonna stick my pumpkin stem or the rope right down in there, and I'm gonna hold that in place. All right, I cut a piece of that curly twisty vine that I got, and we're just gonna hot glue that. Again, I'll put some hot glue on the end, and I will stick that right down in with I'll stick that right down in the little hole at the top with my stem till it sets into place. And then I cut a couple of the leaves off, and I'll put some hot glue right in there as well. And I'll stick those leaves right down in there. So they kind of, the leaves and the stem and the curly vine kind of pop up from the center of that pumpkin, just like that. So that is it, guys. It's super easy. There's a couple different ways you can do it. Again, using the mold. For the smaller pumpkins, the medium-sized pumpkins, you can just use the batting. You could actually do a larger pumpkin as well with the batting. You would just have to probably double or triple the width of the batting that you use. And obviously you're gonna need a much bigger circle of the fabric. So I hope you guys enjoyed this DIY. It's really cute. You can customize these gorgeous little pumpkins, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and stick around for more fall DIYs.